Today, we're diving into a really dark piece of folklore. It's a cautionary tale for sure, a story that kicks off with a wedding and ends in a bloodbath. It's all about what happens when you make a desperate wish and the terrible price that comes with it.
So, picture this. It's a wedding night. The bride Mohini is waiting for her new husband Mukul. Everything should be perfect, right? It's supposed to be a moment filled with joy, with hope. The room even smells like roses, a perfect picture of happiness that's about to be completely destroyed.
Because the very next morning, that idyllic scene is gone. The newlyweds are found dead. And the scene, it's horrific. Their chests have been ripped open and their hearts are just gone. No weapon, no sign of a break-in, no suspect. Just pure carnage.
So you have to ask, what on earth happened? How does a wedding celebration turn into something like this? Well, to get the answer, we need to rewind. We have to go back 1 year to a single, desperate wish that set this whole tragedy in motion. And this is where we meet our guy, Mukul. Long before he was a groom, he was a man just eaten up by loneliness. And that desperation, well, it was about to lead him down a seriously dark path. You see, after his parents died, Mukul was completely alone. More than anything, he wanted a family of his own. But every time he tried to find a wife, it just fell apart. He got it in his head that he'd lost his masculine charm, his vitality. And it was in that pit of despair that he ran into an Agori, a powerful mystic who gave him a very, very dangerous idea.
So, what was this big idea? The Agori told him he could summon a Yakshini, a powerful supernatural spirit. And not just any Yakshini, he was talking about Kameshwari, the spirit of beauty, desire, and raw carnal pleasure. The promise was that she could give him back his youth, his charm, everything he thought he'd lost. But, a deal like that always has a price.
And summoning her wasn't going to be easy. It required this intense, pretty bizarre ritual. For 21 nights straight, Mukul had to go out to a deserted gular tree and meditate on a 4-wick lamp from midnight to 4 in the morning. And get this, on the final night, the 21st night, he had to do the whole thing completely naked.
But before all that, the Agori gave him a warning, and it couldn't have been clearer. He said, Kameshwari is possessive. If you take her as your lover, she will see you as her husband, and she will never tolerate another woman. He literally said, if you ever marry someone else, she will rip out both of your hearts and eat them. But Mukul, he was so focused on what he wanted, he just brushed it all aside. A huge mistake. So Mukul goes through with it. He does the whole 21-night ritual. And on that final night, it actually works. As he's meditating, this overwhelming scent of roses fills the air, and he hears this beautiful, melodic voice calling his name. Kameshwari had arrived. The moment Mukul lays eyes on her, he's just completely captivated. Her beauty is something beyond human. And right then and there, his whole plan, the Agori's warning, all of it just vanishes from his mind. He's so overwhelmed that he embraces her, and in that one moment, he seals his fate. He becomes her supernatural consort.
And the change is instant. Mukul transforms. He's young again, he's incredibly attractive, and he has this magnetic charm. His wish didn't just come true, it was fulfilled beyond his wildest dreams. And every single night, Kameshwari would come to him. For a while, it was a world of pure supernatural passion.
But, that kind of bliss doesn't always last. As time went on, a different kind of longing started to grow inside Mukul. He started wanting a normal life. And that desire, that was going to be seen as the ultimate betrayal. Here's the problem. Kameshwari gave him passion, desire, and youth, sure. But there was one thing she couldn't give him: a family. A Yakshini can't have human children. She couldn't give him a legacy. And slowly, he started to see her less as a lover and more as this dangerously possessive obstacle to the real life he wanted. So Mukul, thinking he could actually outsmart a being of immense power, hires another tantric. The plan? To perform a ritual to magically bind Kameshwari, basically trap her, so that he could sneak off and marry a human woman, Mohini. He really thought he could have his cake and eat it too. He was so wrong.
Because you just can't trick a being like Kameshwari. The binding spell was an insult. The marriage was a betrayal. And that warning the Agori gave him, it was about to come true in the most violent way you can imagine.
Her revenge was terrifyingly fast. First, she shattered that binding spell like it was nothing. Then she killed the tantric who was foolish enough to try and trap her. And then, on the wedding night, she possessed the body of the innocent bride, Mohini. Using Mohini's own hands, she murdered Mukul and ripped his heart out, just as she'd vowed. And once her revenge was done, she destroyed Mohini's body, leaving the two corpses for everyone to find the next morning.
And that really brings us to the moral of this whole chilling story. There's an old saying that fits perfectly here. With such paranormal powers, neither friendship nor enmity is a good thing. Trying to mess with forces you don't understand is a gamble you are almost guaranteed to lose.
In the end, Mukul got what he wished for. He became desirable again. But the cost was literally everything. And it leaves you with this unsettling question, doesn't it? What is the true cost of getting exactly what you think you want? And more importantly, is that a price you'd ever be willing to pay?